on Android, it is not the operating system. That is not a problem. All we require for games is OpenGL ES2. And as long as it has that, it doesn't matter what operating system they have. What is different, though, is the GPU is different on each one of them. And it's not just, it can be drastically different. The biggest problem, I think, is the texture formats. OpenGL only has ETC as a standardized that all GPUs support, but ETC isn't very good. It can't do alpha textures, for instance. So we have to have use on each GPU, we have to use whatever extra texture format that they support. So on image tech, we use PVRTC, a very specific texture format for those GPUs. So every GPU is basically a different game. It's a different build. Textures, they take up the bulk of the download size. So we have to really have different releases for each type of GPU family. Well, we do try to mimic the mobile environment on PC. So OpenGL ES draw calls and all the code paths that we go through on the mobile, we can go do the same thing on PC. So we can basically have a little simulator, mobile simulator running on PC. It goes very quick iteration time and so on. But you do have to click a button to run on the different devices. That's the whole point, because we will have to do different things on different devices. They have different processors, they have different environments. On the other hand, what we do can be automatic. Okay. We will scale features as well, right? So the performance range is going to be different on the different devices, but we will be able to scale automatically and scale the game for all these devices.
It's iteration. It's the ability to build something and test it instantly. You change a light, you rebuild your structure, move walls around, and immediately see it. From a development standpoint, that cuts down on the amount of time that it takes us to develop anything, whether it's the scripting for a level or the look of the environment, the atmosphere, things like that. One of the other features is Unreal Kismet, which is our scripting tool. And that lets us build complex behavior in anything. It can be the statue that you see in the room, or it can be the entire way the time of day is moving. All of that, our designers can now get in and really craft and sculpt the behavior the same way they would their environments. And then for the elemental demo, which is what we'll be demonstrating today, obviously the global illumination, fully dynamic and fully real-time, is a very big visual draw. The fact that I can change the position of the sun and see the light bounce off every surface and then pick up the color of the surfaces that they're bouncing off of is a big, big graphic feature for us, for the elemental demo.
There are 3 things, and 2 of them have been announced already recently. The first thing is OpenGL ES3. That was announced at SIGGRAPH. It's public now. I want all devices to have it yesterday. The second thing is ASTC. That is the first time we will have a standardized texture format, and a good one for all mobile devices. Very, very important. Unfortunately, it wasn't done in time for the standard, so it is an extension to begin with, but I hope that it will have widespread support in all devices, and actually for PC as well, and consoles, because that is a great texture format. Everyone can have it. The third thing is the shader compiling. It is taking a lot of time on mobile devices currently, how we are handling that. But that can be solved with OpenGL ES3. If the OS, if Android and iOS have one more feature in there, then we could be fine.
And for the non-mobile space, I think the biggest things for us are always going to be primacy of digital delivery so that we can release our games and have them into our consumers' hands as quickly as possible, as well as a lot more control over delivery of content and things like that. And we're always going to want faster, better hardware in the hands of our consumers because that lets us develop with fewer restrictions on how we are designing our games and things like that. But I think with the next generation of consoles coming up, it's going to be a big transition for the industry as a whole, and we'll have to see where that goes. It's one of those, I've heard people say 10 years ago. It's one of those, I don't know that it will ever have photorealistic graphics in games because I don't think games necessarily benefit from them. I mean, you wouldn't want to see a photorealistic Mario. It would be a very, very strange thing to watch. But games have become definitely a form of cinema as well. So I think there will always be a strive to achieve that kind of cinematic photorealism where it looks like something you'd see in a movie. And I think that's more likely to something that we'll see in 4 to 10 years or so, something that really looks like the kind of thing you'd expect to sit in the theater and watch. But I don't think photorealistic rendering for like an entire environment is something that we'll necessarily continue to strive for in quite the same way that, say, cinema will.
I agree. I mean, real life, if you want real life graphics, look out the window. It's boring. You want to have something else. That's why you want to escape into a game. It could be a realistic, absolutely, but not real life. You may want something more than real life.